Where you going? Hey. Give me this.
Yeah, when she ordered it one by one, it's still. Each one of one.
Because usually when you bring the guys, any other
but when I bring the guys, the promoter already took care of it. I just bring them. It's already in the system, right? I never had to do anything.
Hey, I love the love. Thank you.
Yeah, let's see, but it's still gonna come up more money. Yeah, that's $100 right there. So I'm gonna call customer service.
Won't you call customer service and see how we can make it work?
And they want to see, right? That's already $300 right there.
Where you going? Where you going?
Would you say you have a family member that resembles Junior? I think he resembles his mother mostly, but I do see some characteristics of Jonathan. So unless they bamboozled me, honey. Did Nevaeh threaten Jaden? I didn't like that. Nevaeh seems to be a nice young lady, but that could be a representative, because I don't understand why people's first thought when they don't like what somebody say is to want to whoop their ass. That's where my telekinesis go off, because it's like, how you gonna beat up your baby's kid's sibling's mother? What would make you want to do that? Why did he claim the child? He claiming the child he with right now too. Ain't he claiming the new child that he... Girl, you take your baby over there, Jonathan gonna claim it. Karlissa, you told us this before. Well, I'm just answering the questions that's in here.
It started off like any other chaotic moment on social media, music playing. People talking over each other, emotions running high, but then something shifted. You could hear it in the tone. You could feel it in the tension. What was supposed to be just another conversation quickly turned into something way deeper and way more personal. At first, there was confusion. Someone asking, "Where are you going?" Another voice cutting in. Background noise, laughter, then suddenly crying. Real crying. Not the kind you fake for attention, but the kind that makes everything uncomfortable. The kind that makes people stop and look twice, and then, just like that, the energy flipped. Again, "Hey, give me this." It felt like a moment where nobody really knew what was going on, but everybody had something to say anyway. That's how these situations always unfold, layers of drama stacked on top of each other until nobody can even remember where it started. But then the conversation took a turn into something more specific: money, responsibility, and frustration. Someone mentioned how things are usually handled. How when certain people are involved, everything is already taken care of. No stress, no confusion, no extra steps. But this time, it wasn't like that. This is still going to come up more money, $100 right there. Now it wasn't just emotional, it was practical, real life issues. The kind that hit differently when cameras are rolling and people are watching. Suggestions started flying. Call customer service. Why don't you call them and figure it out? But underneath all of that, you could still hear it, the crying, the frustration, the tension that never really left the room. And then suddenly screaming, not just talking, not arguing. Screaming, that's when he realized this isn't just about a small issue. This is built up emotion. This is history. This is people carrying things they haven't let go of. Then comes the question that shifts everything. Where are you going? It sounds simple, but in moments like this, it's loaded. It means someone's walking away. Someone's had enough. Someone doesn't want to deal with this anymore, but walking away doesn't end the conversation. It just moves it somewhere else, because now the topic changes. Now it's about family. Now it's about resemblance. Now it's about something way more sensitive. Wouldn't you say you have a family member that resembles Junior? That one question opened the door to a whole new level of drama. In the response? Careful, but not careful enough. I think he resembles his mother mostly. But I do see some characteristics. That's all it takes. Just a hint. Just enough to spark speculation. Because in situations like this, people don't hear what you said, they hear what they want to hear. And what they heard was, that baby looks like Blueface. Now everything changes. Now it's not just conversation. It's controversy. Because this isn't just about looks. It's about identity. It's about paternity. It's about respect. It's about public perception. And once that door is opened, there's no closing it. Because then comes the doubt. Unless they bamboozled me. Now you've got accusations subtle, but loud enough for everyone to catch. And just like that, the internet does what it always does. It runs with it. Once that comment hit the timeline, everything escalated. Because now people weren't just listening, they were analyzing. Breaking down every word, every tone, every expression. Trying to figure out what was really meant. And what wasn't, and that's when the criticism started pouring. In fast, heavy, unfiltered. One of the biggest issues people had wasn't even just the comment itself, it was the pattern, because to them, this wasn't new. This wasn't a one-time slip. This was ongoing. People started calling it out directly. Why is she always talking about Chrisean? That question kept coming up again and again. Because from their perspective, it felt targeted. Like no matter what was going on, somehow the conversation always circled back, and then came the deeper criticism. The kind that hits harder because it questions character, not just actions. She always wants to blame the comments. That was another major point. People weren't buying the idea that everything said was just a response. They felt like there was a choice involved, a decision about what to address and what to ignore. Because let's be real, on social media, everything gets said. So why respond to certain things and not others? That's where the frustration really came from. Because critics pointed out something important. There were bigger issues that weren't being addressed. Serious ones. Situations involving behavior around children, conversations that maybe should have been handled differently, but those topics? Silence. And that silence didn't sit right with a lot of people. Because in their eyes, if you're going to be vocal about everything, not just the things that are easy to comment on. That's when the tone shifted from criticism to disappointment, because now people weren't just reacting, they were questioning responsibility. As a grandparent, that phrase alone carries weight. It comes with expectations, standards, a certain level of accountability, and people felt like those expectations weren't being met. They started saying, if you're going to go online and address things publicly, then address the things that actually matter. Not just the drama, not just the shade, not just the back and forth, but the real issues. The serious ones. The ones that impact the kids. Because at the end of the day, that's what people kept coming back to. The kids. They pointed out how certain behaviors, certain conversations, certain topics maybe shouldn't be happening around them at all. And if they are, someone needs to step in, someone needs to say something, someone needs to draw a line. But instead, what people were seeing was something different. They were seeing energy directed towards someone who, in their opinion, wasn't even bothering anyone. Chrisean is minding her business. That's what a lot of people were saying, posting her baby, living her life, handling her situation the way she chooses to. And despite all the criticism she already faces about her parenting, about her child, about everything, she still shows up. Still posts, still shares, still stands in it. And then here comes another comment, another opinion. Another moment that puts her right back in the spotlight, and that's what people didn't understand. Why do you care? That question hit hard. Because from their perspective, it didn't make sense. If someone has already denied something, if someone has already stepped away from a situation, then why keep bringing it up? Why keep connecting those dots? Why keep feeding that narrative? Because once you do that, it doesn't just stay a comment. It becomes a conversation, then a debate, then a full-blown controversy, and that's exactly what happened. At this point, the situation had completely taken on a life of its own. What started as a simple comment turned into a full-scale discussion across social media. People picking sides. People defending. People criticizing. And at the center of it all? One question: was that comment necessary? Because in a world where everything is already under a microscope, even the smallest statement can create the biggest reaction. Some people felt like it was harmless, just an observation, nothing more. But others? They saw it differently. They saw it as stirring the pot, reopening old conversations, adding fuel to a situation that was already complicated enough. And maybe that's the real issue here. Not just what was said, but what it represents. Because when families handle things publicly, the lines between truth, opinion, and perception get blurry. And once the internet gets involved, there's no controlling the narrative anymore. Everyone has a voice. Everyone has an opinion. Everyone has something to say. So now the question gets passed to you. Was this just an innocent comment? Or was it something more? Because one thing is clear, in situations like this,